Here,
Okay, Ray, would you like to unmute your mic?
we'll get Ray in right away. We're gonna go straight.
Um, I don't think you meant that, did you?
Oh, he didn't mean it like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You meant that. Yeah. All right.
Oh Lord.
So, Ray
4 a.m.
Baker, aka Wondersmith Ray, welcome to Bake on One.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
It's an exciting event.
Oh, we're hanging in there ourselves. But thanks for joining us. Whereabouts are you in the world?
I am in Pennsylvania.
Fantastic. So
Nice.
it's about 5 hours earlier.
Yeah, it's
where you
11 p.m.
are.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So Ray, say hello to the people listening
Yeah.
Hi.
and tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes. So, my name is Rae Baker. I'm actually very new to security. My
Welcome.
background is graphic design, and I've been doing that for about 15 years. I started school for security and risk analysis about a year ago.
Okay.
Almost, yeah, to the semester a year ago. And from there, I attended Layer 8 conference, and I played a Trace Labs missing person event. And from there, I got really into open source intelligence. So that's kind of where my focus has gone. So I go to school. I'm the president of the tech club at Penn State as well. So I've made a lot of connections that way. And we bring a lot of speakers in, and they talk to the club virtually. I also volunteer for Operation Safe Escape.
Oh, okay.
With Zoe.
We heard from Zoe on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do OSINT investigation for them, and I've kind of become the project manager there as well.
Oh, great.
It's pretty cool.
And yeah, so that's where I spend most of my time.
That's fantastic. So describe your day at work. What do you get up to?
Well, my day at work is still design, so
Okay.
so all my security stuff is after that. I do a lot of self-study stuff, so I spend a lot of time writing blogs on security and OSINT to teach myself things, because you go to school and they teach you things, but not everything you need to know.
Yeah, sure.
So I try and fill in the gaps. So I write a lot of blogs, and then I do a lot of work with Operation Safe Escape, writing training and designing stuff, doing OSINT work with domestic violence victims, stuff like that.
Right. Well, that's super cool. So earlier we had Rag and Viking talking about the OSINT work they do, and it's pretty incredible stuff. So it sounds like you're applying what you do in a similar kind of context in terms of keeping people safe, finding people, and all that kind of stuff. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah. So for the Operation Safe Escape work, we basically will reverse OSINT victims of domestic violence who have come to us for help to see where they're vulnerable, and we'll offer them training and tips on how to secure their devices and pull themselves away from their abusers, get them help.
That's so important, because one of the realities is that I feel that the technology that we've come to rely on actually has made stalking easier.
Yes.
And as a result of that, if you aren't an information security person or practitioner, the basic security of your device, of your technological life, of your online accounts is really esoteric. It's
Right.
out of reach for somebody that isn't in this industry.
And for a lot of these people, the people that are abusing them are tech people.
Yes.
Which makes it even harder.
Yeah, and it ranges from the types of things too, because IoT is giving an attacker the ability to, monitor things that are going on in the home, and through baby monitors and turning those on and things like that. So the attack surface, I think, for a person that is trying to escape a domestic relationship gone bad, is so broad. And I don't think we think about that a lot. We think about, oh, get a good password on your phone, but it's, a lot of the times it's the apps, it's the checking in, it's
Yes.
yeah,
Stalkerware. Yeah.
yeah,
And when you're talking about a relationship, that person that you trust and that's already in a rather powerful position compared to, say, some threat actor that you've never met and they're trying to hack your websites.
Yeah. And we've had stuff like people putting things in their cars to track them.
mm-hmm.
Like, stuff that an average person would never consider even looking for.
Yeah. Wow. And so what is sort of the relationship then with law enforcement? Because I know if you have a bunch of evidence and you show, okay, this is a very bad person, they've done this, they've done this, are you getting support from law enforcement or prosecutors, or is
Yes.
you are?
Yeah,
Good.
we have, I know there's lawyers that we have that work pro bono with a lot of the victims in their state. And I know law enforcement does work with a lot of them to help. Some are, more helpful than others, but I know we started working with New York recently. Chris gave a talk he's the executive director. He gave us talk at a New York law enforcement event. So their domestic violence team is very connected with us right now.
Mm-hmm. And so is there hope? I mean, that's really the $1.98 question. You're putting a lot of time and effort into this. You've created the not-for-profit. Are you feeling like you have some victories to celebrate?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I personally have been on maybe 2 or 3 OSINT cases where I followed it from the beginning, like phone conversations with the victims, and we've had several outcomes that have been very nice to hear.
Oh, good.
So we do see that what we're doing is making an impact. And I think it just snowballs. The more people who hear about it, that it's an option, and the more people we connect with and companies that help out, the easier it gets.
Are there any sort of fundamental kind of things that you keep seeing over and over again that people are doing that they really shouldn't be doing? Like, are there any sort of common takeaways or threads?
Common, most of the cases come in and we'll tell them, change your passwords, do this. The stuff they're coming to us with is kind of random, and half of it is they have a feeling that somebody is doing something, but they're not sure. They don't understand like what's going on. They think somebody's tracking their car. So a lot of it is us trying to figure out what is actually going on and what the abuser is saying is happening, but isn't really happening.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. Can I ask you, Rae, in the next 12 months, what are your plans to broaden out the work that you're doing? It sounds like you're doing, God's work, really, in terms of
I don't know about that.
Keeping people safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you planning to maybe distribute some of the work that you do or expand it out? What are your plans?
With Operation Safe Escape, we're working on training materials, working with like call center help numbers. We're trying to get a lot of them trained to assist with like technology issues, because a lot of them don't know how to deal with that when somebody calls in and says, my partner is stalking me through my car, or my phone, you know, they don't know what to say. So we're creating training materials for that sort of thing, reaching out to companies and getting their buy-in on, you know, helping us, giving us products that we can then give to victims. Personally, I am, you know, going to school, so I'm gonna try and get through another year of that.
Yeah, sure.
And just, I mean, this year has been crazy for me. I went from knowing nothing and no one in security to people reading my blogs and caring about things that I say. And that seems incredible for a year.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep trucking with that.
Well, you
It's
keep
fantastic.
up that. Yeah, I mean, you keep up that work, and you know, it'd be great to think there are 1,000 other people like you doing the same thing, because yeah, if it saves the life of an individual, then it's worth doing, right? I always say that when the beer farmers do a talk, if we influence one person in the audience to go away and do something good, then the job is done.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all we talk about is fucking password management and all that kind of stuff. What you're doing is actually directly and profoundly saving people,
And we're always looking for volunteers.
Well,
From OSINT to just writing training stuff, pretty much anything in tech we need help with, and just writing. Anybody could go to the website and apply for something. There's so much work to be done, and we're always taking volunteers.
right. Well, you've got an audience here of people that can get involved, and we'll do our bit. Actually, I'll commit. I'll commit on behalf of the beer farmers, and I'm sure the guys will agree that we'll help out, because it's definitely worth doing.
It's a great cause and worthy of support for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not only that, all the people who volunteer are great. They've been like great feedback for unrelated things, you know, just passing information back and forth and learning from them all. As somebody who's just coming into security, I mean, most of Twitter has been very helpful, and most people I've talked to so far.
Super.
So there is one thing I want to request that you don't ask us to volunteer, and that is for our musical talent.
Yes. Yes.
Please
They're
don't.
very
Well,
minimal.
Well, to be fair, Ian does clang a pretty good cowbell.
I can ring a good cowbell.
You
Yes.
know,
I don't have any
passion.
musical talent.
With
so-
passion, if not rhythm.
well, quite. Well, listen, Rae Baker, you keep fighting the good fight, because what you're doing is amazing.
I will try. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Truly
You
appreciate
do
it.
that, and we've got your back. And I'm sure
Well, I appreciate it.
I'm sure everybody else that's listening and involved in this has got your back too. Thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.